Today I'm going to show you the basics of Doctopus, the add-on for Google Sheets. Doctopus gives you the ability to mass copy from a starter template, share, monitor student progress, and manage grading and feedback. The first thing you need to do is get Doctopus from the Get Add-ons page. Once you've authorized it, and you will only need to do this once, it will appear up here. To start Doctopus, you need to launch it. You should see a working icon down here. Once Doctopus is launched, it will appear on the right-hand side of your screen. The first thing you need to do is select a roster. If you've never done this before, you're going to have to build a new roster. All your other previous rosters will be saved. So I'm going to build a new roster. I have to select a method to build a roster. I can either do it on the sheet manually, I can import from G-Class folders, or I can import from Teacher Dashboard Hapara. Once the board purchases Hapara Teacher Dashboard, it will simply be a click away. So I'm just going to build it from scratch on this sheet. I need to create a roster. You'll see some headers up here. Do not move any of the headers around at any point or it'll mess up the program. So I'm going to start building my roster with my students. Once I've entered my student information, I can refresh, and then I will be asked to set the roster's name or the class name. So I'm going to select this as test class. Now I'm going to unclick create class folders because I just want to show you the basics of what Doctopus does. I'm going to save my roster and continue. Remember, you only have to set your roster once. So once you've added all your first names and last names and emails of your students, you're ready to go. And this can be cut and pasted in from another spreadsheet that you've already maybe exported from PowerTeacher. All right, I am ready to share my assignment. I am now going to use Doctopus to mass copy from a starter template and share with students. The first thing I need to do is select my sharing type. To keep it simple, I'm going to pick individual all the same because I want each individual student to have a copy of this template in their Google Drive. I'm going to leave the access level as no access so students can't access each other's students' assignments. And I'm also going to have each student allowed to edit. Each student can type on their copy of the template. Doctopus is now going to prompt me for the name of the folder that my template is stored in. So I need to choose my folder. Once I've selected my folder, it's going to prompt me to find the document that I want to use as a template. Save and continue. Now that I've chosen my template, I need to create a folder to hold all the assignments. So you need to name your folder. This is a holding place for all your students' assignments. How do you want the document pushed out to them? If you leave it as the default, it will give them their last name, first name, and then whatever you name the assignment. Once all these parameters are filled in, you can save and continue. Doctopus should ask me now to review all the things that I have chosen. So just double check everything that it's the way you want it, that you want the students to access it, that you want a copy of each of the assignment template to go into their folders. And once you're done and you're ready to run your mass copy, you run copy and share. Now because I only have one student in this class, it shouldn't take too long. I would give yourself about 5 minutes at least before class just to make sure that you have enough time to run the mass copy. So now that the mass copy is done running, I can manage and assess this assignment. At any point, I have the option of attaching a rubric or a Goobric. Before I can do this, I need to set up my rubric in Google Sheets, and this is what it's going to look like. I have my levels in row 1 as only numerical values. In column A, I have all my criteria. The rest of my rubric is made up with descriptors. I am now ready to attach my rubric. To attach my rubric, I need to select Attach Goobric. To select my Goobric is going to look through all my spreadsheets in my Google Drive. Select the rubric you want to attach, and then attach it to this assignment. You now have successfully attached your Goobric to this assignment. At any point, you can change your Goobric, and you can display average scores. You also have the option of embargoing docs for grading. So if you don't want your students to work on it at home, you simply click this Embargo Docs. The students can still view the document, but they can't actually write on it. They won't have that ability until you unembargo the doc for review. And this is how Doctopus and Goobric works together.